How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be covering a base style that I think a lot of people might struggle against when it comes to using Fireball into rocket balloons, and that's the hook tower base. Now, there are different styles of hook tower bases, and I'll be sure to cover all of them in this video. I've compiled attacks over the past 3 to 4 days, and some of the attacks actually I'll do live commentary for. And to switch things up, I'll also do kind of side commentary where I show the replay and kind of commentate over it. That way I can actually explain what my thinking process is and, not have the focus on the attack itself. So yeah, without any further ado, let's jump right into the first one. So for the very first style of base, it is one of these hook tower bases where you cannot actually fireball the hook tower itself and, deal with it at the very start of the attack with the fireball. It's separated by 5 tiles from, for example, the scatter shot or the X-bow, so you cannot actually fireball the scatter shot and get the hook tower itself. So you have to deal with it basically later on after the fireball. And the way I like to approach these bases is, well, in this case, I saw a lot of Flame Flinger value on this left-hand side, so I decided to take it. Usually I don't do it, and I'll explain why in a second. But basically, you choose a nice fireball location. For example, this Rage Tower gets a lot of value if you fireball it, so that's what I'm aiming for. And the idea is you get the fireball down, and then you have your Warden join with the heroes. So the King is going to go in first after the fireball, and he's going to get hooked in by the hook tower, and you're going to deal with the hook tower that way. So yeah, getting the fireball down here. The Flame Flinger is doing its job here. Now, as I said, I don't usually use the Flame Flinger in this approach, but since the funnel is quite easy and I have 2 baby dragons, I decided to commit it. Now, the funnel is very important because you really want to get the King into the hook tower. If he goes around, it might be a little bit sketchy because, well, after the King, your Queen is up next, right? So if she gets hooked in, things might not go to plan. So here, getting the King hooked in, funnel was set very well. There wasn't any need to commit, siege barracks or whatever. And once the King gets hooked in, that's when you kind of send in the 2 druids here. Having the healers behind the Queen, they're going to be healing her as well. And, Warden, it's kind of 50-50 between the 2 heroes. I guess you're basically dependent on healer AI, but you have a few invises hopefully left over after the fireball. If you don't, that's okay. You have free spells, you just keep freezing the defenses. As you see, I'm freezing them, raging the heroes up. Even if the Warden goes down, it's not the end of the world. You can actually have like a mini Queen charge going. And yeah, in this case, we actually managed to swag the RC. So yeah, pretty nice approach and works very consistently. So here's another hook tower base, and feel free to pause if you would like and kind of think of the plan of what you would actually do in this case and how you would approach this base. But in this case, the hook tower is quite hard to reach. I mean, I could try to fireball the monolith and get it, but honestly, that's not the best option in my opinion. Now, I thought to just simply go for the builder hut here, and that would actually get, the CC. It's going to get one of the poison towers. It's going to get the Inferno. It's also going to get a scatter shot and an X-bow, so it's very good value. And just like in the previous approach, you're going to have the Warden join with the heroes because you haven't taken out the hook tower, and if you don't have the Warden join with the heroes, it's going to be pretty hard to avoid the hook tower. And that's another approach that I will talk about in one of my later attacks in the video. As you see, the Warden went to the right side, which is kind of where I wanted him to go, to be honest. And just like I was saying in the previous attack, I use a siege barracks here. So I make sure to commit a big funnel for my King. That way he has nowhere to go but towards the hook. Because as you see here, he could have actually gone towards that wizard tower, like where the P.E.K.K.A.s are at the moment, dealing with that. He could have gone there at a certain point, but because the funnel was so well set, he just went for the wool, which is exactly where I need him to go, staying in front of the queen here. I'll add the two druids soon. I should add them right now, yep. And he's going to get hooked in, pop his ability on the hook tower. And yeah, at this point, actually, we lost the warden. So again, as I was saying, it's not the end of the world. Just commit your spells to your queen. Make a bit of a queen charge. I mean, everyone said that the queen charge is dead, but here it is. Queen charging through the entire base. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. Hopefully, Supercell actually bring queen charges back into the meta. Fingers crossed. But here we have, yeah, some sort of a queen charge here. And yeah, she's just going to cruise around the base, pop her ability, use the royal champion on the back end, and yeah, get the triple. So for the second style of hook tower base, it's a hook tower base that you can actually get the hook with the fireball, and that's probably the easiest style of base to attack, honestly. Um, I mean, all of them are relatively simple, as I was saying. Once you have it down, it's not an issue. But here, I guess the trickiest part is making sure you hit the fireball, because if you don't and you miss the hook tower, then it might be tricky. Then you might have to go to, the first approach where you try to join the heroes with the warden and, try to get the king hooked in. But here the primary goal is to fireball the hook tower. Now, I could fireball the Inferno Tower, for example, and get the CC as well, but I'm not going to be too greedy. I'm going to go for the Arch Tower, which gets way more than enough value. And more importantly, it gets the hook. So once you get rid of the hook, then it just becomes a regular, wooden charge. Now, also note, at the start of the attack, I was checking the range of the hook tower, and I always like to keep a mental note of where the range is, just so that I'm aware where I need to ice block the warden in case he gets a little bit too close to the hook. Because yeah, if you obviously have him, hooked into the base even before the fireball, that's very hard to recover from that. And yeah, as I said, just a normal queen or a normal fireball Rocketloon attack. After that, you have your warden go pick a side, whichever way he wants to go, and you start your heroes from the opposite side. So in this case, he went up. I start my heroes at the bottom, and adding the two druids just to top the queen up. And as usual, I kind of delay the queen ability until she's kind of in that high DPS area where, I spawn her 3 clones, invis them, and yeah, here I think, I'm not sure if we swag the RC. Maybe. No, we didn't, did we? Maybe I could have, but I decided not to. Okay, hook base. Now this one is not so obvious. I mean, I could go for a hook tower fireball potentially, which I'm kind of thinking of doing, because I can just directly fireball it and get the CC and the mono. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for it. Now, I will set it up in advance. I'm not gonna deploy the warden just yet. Scout for some Teslas here. Now it looks like 3 invises should be good. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Do that. Okay, very good. Yeah, kind of a weird base. I mean, you can fireball directly the hook from a distance, obviously. Like, that's why I checked the range. I want to make sure you know where exactly the range is. And that's for sure a pretty nice way to deal with hooks. Now the warden, I kind of want him to go left here. That storage, yeah, kind of predictable. But now, where's he gonna go? I don't think he's gonna go down to the left side. bro, just make up your mind. Looks like he's gonna go to the left now. Yeah, okay. He's going to the left, right? I mean, he's not gonna switch up on me again, is he? So I'm just gonna let him do that. And hopefully stays in his lane. Does not get pulled by my hero dive. That'll be really annoying. Let's rage here because of this scatter shot and the multi-archer tower on the warden. I should deploy my Valk as well. Start the two druids for that queen. Although they're going to the flippin' king because he's not... let's swap the king ability. Oh, warden. Keep an eye out on the warden. Make sure that he's up. Snipe that out. And I'll probably rage the queen here. Up her ability. Push the warden into the base a little bit as well. Freeze the town hall. I'll probably need the RC on this one. Let's ice block the giant. How about that? Pretty nice use case for the ice block. Let him tank, and yeah, we're good to go. So here's the final hook tower base style that I wanted to show. It's a hook tower base with a hook on the very outside of the base. As you see, it's sitting just exposed at 5 o'clock. And, well, you could do the same approach where you just fireball it, right? But looking at the value, you don't really get all that much by fireballing it. So in cases like this, I like to avoid the hook tower and just start the warden somewhere far away from its range. And, you know, hopefully have him go a direction where he's not going to encounter the range of the hook very quickly. So in this case, you know, I'm aiming for a fireball onto the monolith. That gets a boatload of value, obviously. And, you know, then I just adjust, you know, if he goes to the right, to the hook, or to the rage tower compartment, that's okay, because, again, as I said, it's going to take him a while to get to the hook tower range, so that's perfectly fine. If he goes left, that's also perfectly normal, because he's just not going to encounter the hook tower at all, right? So those are the kind of two ways in which the attack could go. In this case, he decides to go right, which is perfectly fine, but you have to be a little bit cautious because he will encounter the hook tower at a certain point, just not very soon. So you have to be a little bit, you know, quick on your hero dive. As you see, it's 1 minute 50, and I'm already starting the heroes because the king will have to catch up. The king will have to still get hooked, or at least he will have to open up a compartment for the queen to take out the hook tower. That's the idea. You don't want the warden hooked at any point in the attack, because that just messes things up. So yeah, if the warden is gonna get hooked at a certain point, make sure you get the heroes in, and you push the heroes in front of the warden like I'm doing here. Now the king ends up going around, so again, kind of jumping back into like the first style of hook tower base that I attack, where I try to push my king into the base. I try to make sure I funnel. Exact same thing here. I, you know, commit 2 baby dragons, or well, 1 baby dragon and siege barracks to make sure the funnel is set. But in this case, actually, the king gets hooked in, and yeah, at this point, the base is gone. Okay, hook base. Now, this version, this is actually the base that I built, but I had a crusher mortar where this hook is, and I think also the fire spitters were differently placed. But yeah, on this style of hook base, you can pretty much avoid the hook tower, and this is probably like the easiest version of or the easiest types of hook bases for warden charges, because if you can avoid them, then they actually kind of help you if you can get the king hooked in. So actually, let's just focus on the fireball before anything. Because I do want the warden to go to the right. Right, that's kind of the idea. But obviously have to execute it first. 1, 2, 3. Like so. Double quake. And now, as I said, I want the warden to go to the right. So I'm going to snipe out that X-bow. Or that Tesla. Cut off a funnel for him. I forgot that I always use a... Is it worth it at this point? I always use a flame flinger on this left side for this base. But I forgot. So I guess it's a little bit late to use it. My P.E.K.K.A.s are not going to get all that much value, unfortunately. We're going to send in the king first, because he's going to get hooked in. Right, we're going to freeze that. Poison that down. Let's snipe out this mortar crusher. Crusher mortar. Whatever it's called. Queen is doing her thing. The ice golem is just chilling on the outside, which is kind of weird. How's the queen? Let's add the 2 druids at this point. Now, I did account for that Giga Bomb, which is why I kind of raged pretty aggressively with the warden. The ice golem should cover for the queen here with the freeze effect. As soon as that wears off, I can pop her ability and, you know, use an invis, just like so. And cover the warden with a couple of Rocketloons, and yeah, there we go. We're good to go. Okay, core hook base. Now this one, I cannot reach the fire. Well, I mean, I could fireball technically like this multi-gear tower, but I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, I don't think it's worth the investment. So what I'll do here is I'll either avoid the warden. And I don't want to push the warden into the CC, so okay. Let's see what we can do here. So the plan is to fireball this poison spell compartment, maybe this multi-inferno, because that's going to get the scatter shot as well. And then leave the town hall for the end. It might seem a bit risky, but it should be okay. As long as everything goes well, shouldn't be an issue. Now, how many invises is it going to take? 3, probably? Yeah. Okay, but that's an annoying Tesla for sure. Maybe I should scout for more. Just in case here. Do that. And we're just going to cut a bit of a funnel for the warden. Start funneling, because the funnel is very important in this case. We really want to make sure that we get the king hooked in. Snipe that out. I really want this king to get hooked in right now. Looks like he's getting it. Okay, very nice. He's getting the trigger. Okay, we get partial CC pull. Well, the queen is beating on a wall, of course. I mean, what else can you expect from her? Let's add the 2 druids to the queen. She can be in charge of the core. I mean, we got... It's kind of weird how this actually split up. Because now we have all the healers on the queen. And none on the warden. It's definitely not ideal. Snipe out that X-bow. Okay. I'll use the rage on the RC. I'm not sure how good of an idea that is, honestly. That's annoying. The healer's splitting up like that. Let's freeze the queen. I mean, it looks like we're gonna get it, but it's definitely a little too close for comfort. Oh, these skellies, man, that's brutal. Can you get rid of these skellies, please? The giant still has a lot of HP. Or does he? He doesn't. Yeah, that was annoying. That was actually quite annoying. As I said, the funnel is quite important. And as you saw, like, my funnel was pretty shit. Everything went around and yeah, it didn't really work out as well as I thought it would.